At this point, allow CPS to take the kids at this point. Not the demon got fucking jutsu fucking disappeared out of nowhere. What's up, it's your girl Wildgegema, and I'm back at it again with another video. I'm going to be breaking down Deliverance. I'm going to start by saying, like, scary movies are easier to decode, especially with the ones that's dealing with demons, because it's literally your demons and you are technically the demon and you have to fight your demon. So this is like a breakdown, but it's not really a breakdown because I just feel like scary movies are easier to break down because it's like it's there, it's in front of you. At first, before I watched the movie, I thought this movie was going to be about like a new horror movie. It's giving like what's it called, Us, Get Out type stuff. But in the very beginning of the movie, when it showed the pictures of the mama drunk and then like the family, and then it's like a shadow person and the mother's unhappy, I was like, okay, I know what type of movie this is going to be. Granted, I don't like scary movies like that. It's like they're starting to make a lot of horror films or suspenseful thrillers around the trials and tribulations of being a single mother, and I'm not liking it. I'm not gonna hold y'all. So this movie reminded me of that BET movie that Monique was on, and she was like, bitch, is that my sweater? This movie is the same vibe as that. And then there's another scary movie, I don't remember the name, but I saw it last year. It was with white people though. It's a horror movie based on being a single mother, the trials and tribulations of being a single mother and being possessed and being, you know, a demon and stuff like that. I don't really care for that shit. Like, I'm sorry. I do feel like some people do need to watch these movies to see how they do be acting to their children, but I also feel like some of these movies might go over their head, even though I feel like this one is easier to digest, it's easier to understand. In case I don't talk about everything I wanted to talk about, I did like react to it while I was watching it in real time, so I might put the videos in it in case if I missed something. The movie starts off with these artworks, and you could kind of see the insight of the dynamic with the family. You could see a mother passed out on the couch with that alcohol, and I think the son is eating pizza. You see the family holding hands. It's a shadow person. It then pans to the son, and his name is Andre, and he is painting a mural on the wall. And like on the mural, it has like a Batman signal, and then he also has a Batman shirt on. The mother comes and she's, oh, Andre, that's cute, whatever. And then she tells him like, stop what you're doing and come help me cook or whatever, even though she was doing something else. Then it goes to the grandmother, which I thought she was supposed to be high yellow, but child, she just white. They're at the church with their daughter Shantae and the other son Tate, or Nate. His name is Nate, sorry, his name is Nate. So after the church scene, they have a family dinner. So it starts off with the grandmama asking the mother, who is Ebony. The grandmother name is Alberta. I feel like I said her name correctly the first time. Her name is Alberta. Whatever, fuck. The grandmama asked the mama Ebony, why didn't Andre go to... I just like saying his name like that because it reminds me of Key and Peele when she's like, Andre, where are you? She asks why isn't Andre at the church. The mama already like kind of hostile. She already like teeing up, and you can tell right there the dynamic between their relationship is horrendous. You could tell this back history, this trauma, because if you already have that hostility towards your mama, you could just tell. Anybody that has a relationship like that with their mother, we see it, we know, we understand it. I would say I feel like Alberta, which is the grandmother, was egging Ebony on. I feel like Alberta was stealing Ebony's energy. Alberta know what the fuck she was doing. She was egging her on. Not saying Ebony shouldn't lose her cool, because I feel like you shouldn't be giving people your energy like that, because no, like, and my thing is, this is your house. Like, don't ever let a bitch steal your energy. Alberta said something about the greens. She said something about the food not being seasoned or it's too salty. She said something, and then Ebony's teeing up again. Andre brung up the father, and I guess that's a touchy subject, whatever. And then he brung up he wanted another glass of milk, and then Andre was like, you being cheap or whatever. The grandmama start laughing because she think it's funny. Like I said, I feel like she was stealing her energy. She was egging Ebony ass on. So she ends up popping Andre in the mouth, and his mouth start bleeding. I guess his breath stank, and I guess the grandmama smelled his breath, and she's like, girl, he brushed his teeth like last week. I don't know what she said, but it seems like the grandmama's like, bitch, you're neglecting your child, because I feel like you should be not forcing, but you should be telling, and I guess I don't want to say forced, but you should be keeping up with your children's hygiene, basically. So you already see the dynamic between the family. You notice that the oldest kids was quiet. They ain't say shit. They ain't add nothing to the conversation. They shut up and ate their food, and that's how you could tell, like, they're in a rocky household, because they don't really fuck with their mama for real. It's apparent that the kids love their dad. At first I thought their daddy was dead. I'm not gonna hold you. I thought the daddy was in that basement the whole time. I thought she killed the father. At that same night, Andre, he goes to the kitchen and he drinks a bottle of milk. He just wastes the milk, okay? And then a crow flies and it hits the window. He goes outside to look at the dead crow. And y'all know these movies, crows symbolizes death, and it symbolizes basically like a bad omen or bad luck, or really it just symbolizes death. And then especially the crow died, it means death, basically. So the next day, Ebony's on the phone, and I guess she's with the bill collector or whatever. They about to repo her car type stuff. She said she just moved into place, and this is one thing I didn't understand. Like, so some of this stuff was like unnatural. It was some things that was like, ain't no fucking way. But it was some stuff that was like, okay, that's some shit that would happen. It was the stuff surrounding the house was just like, but then again, it's a deeper meaning. It's a deeper, it runs deep than that, than surface level. But she says she don't have that much money because she was renovating the house. She had to get the house in order. Like, if a house is not up to code, up to date, and you have to actually add in your own thing, you have to actually fix it up, they give you some type of like you get stuff off. Like, they're not just gonna charge you full price if you have to actually make their house livable. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, but I feel like the house symbolizes something deeper. It's not just a house. It kind of could symbolize her mind, the trauma, and all this stuff that she had to work out in her head. She had to fix up the house type stuff. So that could, what the house could symbolize. But I was just like, so the kids are walking to school, or walking back home from school. So they walking back, and Nate is getting picked on by some grown ass niggas. These niggas look like they could be either 18, 20 years old, and they sitting on the block. One dude's calling him a pussy or a bitch boy. He was calling him something, and then he threw a rock at his head, and his head was bleeding. I'm just like, first of all, y'all just moved in 2-3 weeks ago. I'm just gonna say a month. This nigga look grown as fuck, and then it's like you calling him a pussy boy. I'm guessing they trying to allude that Nate is gay or he's bisexual. I don't know what they're trying to do. And then you throw a rock at his head. What the fuck can this symbolize? Like, I mean, I understand they're going through pressure, and I guess that's what they want us to see, that the kids are also going through things. They moved, they're in a new neighborhood, they're in the hood, and then they're getting bullied. You know what I'm saying? They could be dealing with also the trauma and all of the shit that their mama is putting them through. But I was just like, I feel like this was not needed. It was not needed at all. But I guess they wanted this to be here. As Ebony's on the phone with the bill collector, because they're about to repo her car, she's cleaning up Nate's room. Really, it's not just Nate's room. So Nate, Shantae, and Andre, they share the same room. I just feel like that house low-key big for real. To have, like, you mean to tell me y'all only got 3 bedrooms? And then to me, you telling me that the grandma can that Shantae can share with the grandma, like I don't understand. But she found alcohol and she found a bands of money, like a stack of money in his room. So she confronts Nate about it, like, what are you doing? I beat your head up, I beat your rat, like, you know, she's just going in. And he like, child, I hid that alcohol from you. And he was like, if I knew you would have found it, I would have dumped the alcohol out. So Ebony found out that Nate got hit in the back of his shit. So she went down a block to set it off. This is the part where I was like, okay, that's some real ass shit. These movies, these shows, they don't show the parents doing nothing. I mean, they might show them go to the police or they talk to the principals and the teachers. But no, in real life, baby, you're gonna set it off. So Ebony kicked the man in his balls, told him like, don't you ever in your fucking life touch my child again. You got his homeboy. It wasn't even like that. What? You throwing a rock at somebody's temple is it's just, you playing with them. It's not like that. What is it like? What is it like? And I feel like that's the thing. It's like, if Nate would have fought old dude, Nate probably would have got jumped. However, Alberta felt like she made Nate look less than. She felt like you just embarrassed him because you fought his battles. I would give kudos to Ebony for actually sticking up for her child and throwing down and standing on business with grown-ass men. Even though they looked at 19, 18, 20 a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I still respect her because she did something. She stuck up for her child. Some parents, it's like when they find out their child, especially how old Nate is, didn't defend themselves or stick up for himself, they would have been like, oh, it's either you fight him or you fight me. Or they'll force them to fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, come outside. You gotta fight him. You gotta fight him. I would say Ebony is off her rockers. She has a anger problem, especially from Papa her son. Like, bitch, that wasn't even that deep. Like, what are you doing? And then always jumping to conclusions. Ebony does have a problem, but that shit stems from her trauma, her demons that she needs to face. Because Alberta told her, like, you know, you just humiliate your son, they kind of get into it. Ebony keeps on trying to fight her mama. Like, girl, just go ahead and fight her, get over with, because Ebony be ready to fight her mama so bad. Like, that's how you know the tension. That's how you know her mama put her through hell. Her mama must have did some raggedy shit, which we're gonna get into. Ebony be on go. She be like, I'll beat your motherfucking ass right now, ho. Ebony goes outside to smoke, and you got Andre on the swing, and he's talking to his imaginary friend, which his name is Trey, and he's basically like, oh, where you live here, you my brother, something like that. It is going while Ebony is smoking, it's so much flies. So the whole time, like since the beginning of the movie, there's nothing but flies coming from the basement. The second time where Ebony went by the basement, but she never goes in, and I was like, there's something to do with that basement. She's either scared of the basement, something traumatic must have happened in the basement. And then like I said in the beginning, I felt like my theory was like she killed the husband was dead in the basement the whole time. So I was like, maybe she killed that nigga, that's why she wanna go in the basement. But I feel like the flies and the stench from the basement just represents that deep rooted trauma that she tried to mask with her alcohol, with the weed, and now it's like, baby, it's overflowing. There's no more hiding it. Bitch, you smell that. I know you smell that shit. Ebony gets mad at Andre for talking to himself. Ebony is angry. She is mad, she's upset, she has all of this past trauma, and she is taking that shit out on her children. We then get this kind of like this lovely scene, but it also was symbolic. They're all doing each other here. So you have Alberta doing Ebony's sewing, you have Ebony doing Shantae box braids, Nate and Andre sitting on the couch. They're watching this old, I guess, movie about, I'm thinking it's about mother and daughter. All the girls know it word from word, especially Alberta and Ebony. The movie that they're watching about how the mother and the daughter's interacting, kind of like how their relationship is. It's like we're frenemies, but we don't really fuck with each other type shit. Ebony alludes to Shantae like, oh, we should probably do something small. Maybe we should wait till your father come back before we, you know, have this party, da-da-da. So Ebony doesn't want to let Shantae know that she's broke, that she's struggling. I get why she was trying to do this, because she didn't want to put that hardship on her child or let her child down. But Shantae's like, girl, what you trying to say? I'm not getting my new phone. And then Shantae just starts up, she gets mad. She was like, I hate being broke, or I'm tired of being broke. I just feel like Shantae should already knew y'all was broke. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like that, you know, y'all struggling. Like, look where y'all live. Y'all sharing one fucking bedroom. Like, I don't understand. Like, this part was like, I would have, like, me growing up in the house I grew up, we grew up very broke. I most certainly knew not to ask for shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, Shantae, you knew y'all was broke. But then again, I'm starting to think like, okay, why Shantae felt like that is because she knew her mother was going to find a way anyways. Like, she knew like her mother always come through, regardless how broke they are, regardless what they've been through. Her mama always makes some shit shake. So when she was finally trying to let her down, or trying to like allude to like, oh girl, let's wait, she was like, bitch, what you mean let's wait? Like, when the fuck have you never done this before? You know what I'm saying? Broke it all. Like, bitch, you never done this. So I feel like that's probably why she reacted like that. Later that night, Andre goes down to the basement. Ebony comes down, she sees the basement door open, it stinks. Nat, she just closes it. Like, she's avoiding her shit. She's avoiding the shit that she needs to work on. The trauma, the hurts, all this pain. We found out Alberta has cancer. She's bullheaded and she's on her way to the cancer center. At first I thought this was a plasma place. It's not. Forgive me. As she's about to walk in, you got two bummy dudes sitting outside. They probably cancer patients too, but two dudes sitting outside, and one of them is bullheaded just like her, trying to hit on her, talking about, Ma, you look good, get your sexy ass over here. And it's like, ugh. So Alberta is flirting with the dude that's taking her blood, or the dude, the nurse, basically the nurse, which is Quincy. Alberta and Quincy, the nurse, is chopping it up. She's flirting. She kind of got her titties out. I mean, you can see her cleavage a little bit, her bra showing, and she's flirting. And then you got these two ladies on the side. They talking, they smack. She thirsty. She doing way too much. Da da da. Alberta heard them. She was like, so what happened? What happened? And they ain't saying nothing. She's like, okay, that's what I thought. Before Alberta leaves, the lady at the front counter desk, whatever, tells her that, girl, you about 2 months behind on your payments. Alberta's like, what the fuck? Medicaid supposed to recover that. The lady's like, oh, she didn't tell you? Like, we been stopped doing Medicaid like over almost a year now. Or she said a year, I don't know. She said how long it's been. It's probably been a year. And she was like, yeah, she's been paying for you. I guess she didn't want you to know. And so I was like, oh, that's kind of sweet. Ebony paying for her mama's treatment and stuff like that. Then it pans to Ebony, drunk ass, walking home. I better let Ebony know, like, girl, I know you've been making my payments. I better's like, yeah, I don't know what to say. This is when Ebony should have teed up. Like, I feel like this was the only, okay, get her ass, Ebony. But Ebony was so drunk and she did not give a fuck. What you mean you don't know what to say? Say thank you. Like, what the fuck? It's like that guilty conscience. They are so, it's kind of like, I want to just think of like Lion King, Scar and motherfucking Mufasa, or let's just say Scar and Simba. Like, after all Scar did to Simba, Simba doesn't kill him. Simba allows him to leave. Simba allows him to go doing something nice. And they so shocked. They're like, how could this be? I fucked you over. I killed your father. I did all of this. And you're giving me grace? Bitch, I'm nothing like you, hoe. Like, why do you... And I feel like that's one thing I don't get about them people that do that. It's like, if I wanted vengeance, if I wanted to hurt you, I would have been did that. I feel like that's what they don't understand. I feel like it's that guilty conscience, and I feel like it's also that paranoia. But Ebony didn't really care. She's like, girl, I'm tired.
And she said, don't worry, Ma. I didn't drive home. But Mama, her car is going to get repoed, right? What if she... What if she... What if she didn't drive home on purpose? Like, what if, like... Bitch, they about to repo that car. So it's like, bitch, I'm not going home. No.
Ebony is laying down and she's having like this dream, which is not necessarily a dream because it's something that really happened to her. It's this man coming down a basement, and then she ends up waking up startled and her door closes and she thinks that somebody's in her house. So she gets up and she grabs the bat, she walks downstairs. She realized that the basement door is open. Barely looks down there like, y'all ass better not be down there, I'll fuck y'all up, da da da. But then she goes and closes the door. Something that was, you know, deeply rooted gets pulled up, brung up. She tends to run away from it. She tends to hide it. As Ebony is thrown up, Nate comes to confront her about his money that she took. She asked him, was he selling drugs? And he's like, no, father gave it to me to get away from your motherfucking trifling ass. They start getting to it. Nate ended up pushing her ass on the floor. Andre came downstairs to try to break it up, but he ends up tripping and hurting his arm. Ebony ends up giving back Nate his money. She put it in his drawer. Did y'all see that dry ass condom that they whole dry ass condom is that? And then the fact that they just glossed over that. So Ebony tried to, you know, express to Nate like, I need you, try to give him a heart to heart. Nate, he heard it all before. He probably heard his apology before. He probably heard that I need you before. The next day they have an exterminator come to exterminate the basement. Turn out child's a dead cat. The exterminator and Ebony get into it a little bit because he needs to get paid and it's only $50. I was like, that's kind of cheap though. I thought they kind of costed more than that. I thought that was like $300 or whatever. Nate ended up, I got you mama, and he paid for the dude bill. Cynthia, aka Monique, is a CPS worker. And Monique was looking good. I'm not gonna lie, Monique was looking snatch, honey. That bob, bitch, that bob was clean. So she comes to the house. The whole family is downstairs. Alberta and Cynthia got some beef. I don't know why. I don't know. I feel like they have past history. They must have stole each other nigga or something like that, because I didn't understand the beef. They talking and Monique just basically asking her questions like, bitch, you moved again, you didn't tell me, you have to tell me you moved. She ended up seeing marks on Shantae's arm. She like, where them marks came from? Shantae talking about she just woke up like that. The marks is like handprints on her arm. And then she's like, Andre, what happened to your arm? He's talking about, oh, I fell, I went to the playground. Y'all notice that both of the kids' arms are fucked. Y'all see what they trying to say without saying it? Cynthia ends up giving Shantae her card and she starts snooping around the house, just doing a little walkthrough, looking through pills. She looked through Alberta pills. Cynthia says that the kid's father came to court. He made some allegations that there were drugging, drinking, and neglect in the home. Cynthia's telling Ebony by herself like, the children need stability, they need a clear head, you need to fix this shit, you need to do all of this because I'm not buying none of this shit. Your kids got bruises, like, don't play with me, girl, you will lose your kids fucking with me. As Cynthia's leaving, there's a car parked across the street and it's this lady in it and she just staring. Ebony, Alberta think the lady that's across the street is CPS. So we get to Shantae's birthday party. It's mostly like grown folks in there. I mean, I see a little bit of friends, but it's mostly like grown folks, but some people do that. Ebony gave Shantae her phone. You have the nurse there, which is Quincy. He was making me uncomfortable, especially when he started groping the grandmama, Alberta, in the kitchen and saying, like, it was just, I was like, ew. Ebony ends up getting drunk as hell and she made the kids go to bed. Some banging coming from the basement. She opened the basement, child. Guess who's in the basement? Andre was beating his head in on the basement door. So now he got this big ass bruise on his forehead, and I feel like that also supposed to symbolize her beating her fucking kids. Even though granted there were other people there and it is a house party, so she did have her friend there. So she's like asking Andre all these questions. Andre starts talking about his imaginary friend named Trey. I think this is where he said he lives in the hole downstairs. He lives in the basement. He says sometimes he lives in my closet. Ebony is drunk as hell. The party has ended. She catches Andre out of his bed, standing in a corner, and she just fusses at him and tells him, I'm talking to you. Go upstairs, go into bed. And Andre tells her he's scared. Ebony don't give a fuck. She like, boy, take your ass upstairs. I'm gonna tell you twice. Even though you're drunk, bitch, you catch him in the corner just standing there. stiff as a hoe, hunchback a little bit, and then you like, what are you doing out of bed? I told you to, you know, just bitching. Like, that's what they do. They so frustrated. And I understand why some parents are overwhelmed, single mothers to be exact, are overwhelmed. But it's like, y'all keep taking that, y'all hurt and that frustration, and y'all are directing that to y'all children. Y'all are putting that energy on your child, and y'all don't understand that it affects them too. It surely does. And y'all feel like y'all don't understand that until they get older. And y'all be like, why my kids don't fuck with me? Why don't they? Y'all push your children away. Don't want to be bothered by them. Just cussing them out, not speaking to them, all this other shit. When they get to that teenager level and they get grown, why don't they kiss me? Why don't they hug me? Why don't they want to spend time with me? Gee, I wonder why. You're fussing at him, and then he says, I'm scared. You should have been like, scared of what? What happened? Like, scared of what? Like, what's going on? You tell him, boy, shut the fuck up, take your ass to bed. And I feel like he said he was scared because Ebony ass is drunk again. Like I said, they're trying to tell us she be abusing these kids. Like, they're trying to tell us without telling us. They're telling us in a way of a horror film, a scary movie, demons. Ebony is asleep again, drunk, passed out drunk on her bed, and like I think she's talking to her sleep or whatever. You have all the kids, they all share the same room, and Shantae is looking at the closet, and you see Tate, he gets up, and they all starts looking at the closet, and you just start hearing banging, I guess coming from the closet. And Ebony's like, who the fuck is banging? Like, stop all of that banging. I just told y'all to stop banging. So she goes into their room and she closes the door. As that's going on, Alberta is sending Quincy home, which he should have been left. So Alberta hears commotion, and I guess the kids crying and yelling or whatever. And she goes open the door, and there's a big ass hole in the mural that Andre painted. Ebony's on the ground. The kids they all on one bed, and they like huddled up together, and they in the corner. Alberta's like, what the fuck is going on? Shantae said she woke up on the floor and mother was yelling. Nate said he don't remember. He doesn't know what happened. Andre said she threw us to the wall. So it's like, I see how all the kids was looking at the closet, because who's finna come out that closet? The monster, which is their mother. You got Ebony like, no, I don't abuse my kids. You have to realize Ebony doesn't know what the fuck going on. So the kids go to school, and the lady that was outside of the house is following them. So once at school, the children start acting strange, child. You have Shantae in choir, and they're singing, and then you see Shantae walks over to the teacher and whispers something in his ear, and he looks disgusted. Like, he literally looks disgusted as fuck. And then it pans to Shantae. I think she was wearing a skirt or whatever, and there's blood leaking, trying to say that she got her period. And I would say I hate how they depict periods in movies. It's so, they be making the shit just leak, like it just be leaking like a faucet. I just hate how they depict it, but I feel like when they use the period thing, it's symbolic for something. I don't know yet. I don't really know what period mean. I feel like it's like, of course it's menstrual, something with blood, something with womanhood, something I guess kind of like dealing with pain. It's something with that. I need to start looking into menstrual stuff and period, but I hate how they depict it. So basically she started her period and she was leaking, and then everybody like leaves and she just stays in the goddamn choir room singing or standing there or whatever. It pans over to Nate. Nate is in health class or biology, whatever, and the teacher's talking about how 40% of African Americans have AIDS, and Nate just start busting out laughing. And the teacher's like, what, you think it's funny? He just starts rolling over, laughing on the floor. He kind of size the teacher up, and he looking her dead in her shit. Then you have Andre, and he asks to use the restroom. I'm thinking the little nigga gotta pee. There's where Andre put his pants down. He takes the shit on the floor, and then he picks it up and throws it towards the teacher. All the scenarios is symbolic. Like I said, the menstrual stuff, I need to look more in that, because they do be having that in a lot of movies, especially horror movies. It's always centered around menstrual stuff, which also being on your period is also powerful too. Andre laughing about AIDS and then sizing the teacher up, I feel like they were probably trying to say how black kids or some kids, they don't take health seriously. They think it's a joke, they think it's the laughing matter, they think health is laughing matter. Because mind you, the moment they showed the condoms, when they got to Andre, he just have erratic behavior and throwing a dookie everywhere. Like, I don't know, but I just feel like all three of them, what they were going through is symbolic and it means something deeper than what we just saw type shit. So they end up taking the kids to the hospital and they running tests on them, all of them. One thing that had me like, what the fuck? A doctor with a cotton swab swabbing her coochie. I don't know if they was getting, I don't know if they getting her pap smear. I don't know if they was giving her to see if she, you know, a grape kit. I don't know. But I was just like, what's going, if she just started her period, why was she should have just took a shower, got her some pads, some tea. I didn't understand that part. Like, that part gave me like, this must be more. That's what I'm saying. I feel like it's more than, and a lot of times people, I don't know why, but it's really the older generation. They used to believe when girls used to have their periods at an early age that they were having sex or they were raped, basically. That's what a lot of people used to believe back then. I don't feel like a lot of people believe that now, thank God. But so I don't know, it was just that part had me like, what the fuck am I looking at? Like, what am I looking at? It goes to Andre, they give him pictures and whatever comes to mind he says. So it's like an apple, he says crunchy, it's a crow, and he says the crow is Trey. The doctor is telling them that their results are clear, they're in good health, ain't nothing wrong with them, nothing missing, nothing broken. And Ebony's not buying the shit. She's like, bitch, my child just ate some shit. See, they didn't show that part. I was just like, what? They showed him throwing a dookie. He ate dookie? First of all, he should have been fucking vomiting, sick as fuck. But it's like, he ate the dookie too? So our brother's trying to tell her to calm down, calm down. Ebony's turning up. And then our brother's like, baby, I'm about to leave. You embarrassing me. I gotta go. If the doctor's telling you that they okay and they ran their test, whatever, why do you believe, this is for everybody, why do you believe that, no, I know there's something wrong with them. You need to find it out. Baby, you're wasting your breath. Either you A, go to another hospital, get a second opinion, or plan B, which should have been your plan A. You do some home remedies, motherfucker. Baby, my mama would have had us, that house would have been clean. We would have been cleaning the walls. We'd have been scrubbing the ground. We would have been cleansing. Baby, no sugar, no what's it called, no processed foods, no chemicals. Like, baby, would have been no phones, no TVs. We'd have been cleansing, home remedies, tea. Like, baby, the house would have been clean. Like, I don't, and it would have been in that nature. When something is really going on, like, when I say something, like when it feels like it's above you, you need to go to nature. Nature represents your body. Nature grounds you. Nature's gonna tell you what to do, what's wrong with you. You need to go to nature ASAP. That could be a tree, that could be just standing barefoot on some grass. You need to go to nature ASAP. On their way out the hospital, Ebony and Alberta get into it again. Alberta's like, maybe there is something going on with them kids, because what did you do last night? What happened last night? She was like, I know you be beating them kids. Ebony's like, bitch, you got some nerve, ho. If you wasn't sick, I'd knock your motherfucking head off. She said, you down with niggas until it's really time to be down with niggas. Ew. Ebony is helping wash Andre hair as he take a bath. See, Nate, it's like he was sleeping and then he ended up waking up. Ebony's phone starts ringing, so she went downstairs. Alberta is hanging up a Jesus statue and her and Alberta gets into it again. They kind of get into it about religion. Ebony feels like religion is bullshit and it's just like another fix. So Ebony tries to take off the statue or whatever. Alberta was not having it. She's like, bitch, let go, ho. Ebony's like, yeah, that's the mama I remember, the one that be you know, used to be her kids. And Alberta's not feeling it. She's like, baby, Jesus saved me, child. I am saved. And Alberta's like, okay, do you want your mother to die? Because, you know, she got cancer. So she was like, who you gonna blame then? Who you gonna blame then when I die? She's trying to say, so after I'm gone, what's gonna be your excuse for being a shitty person? You have to understand, yes, all of that shit she went through is because of her mama. We're not gonna deny that fact. Her mama fucked her up, and that's kind of sadly, that's kind of how the cycle repeats. And this low-key shows you kind of how the cycle repeats. Bitch, you gonna be 50 years old. Yeah, I'm like this because of my mama. Your kid's gonna grow up just as fucked up as you and be like, I'm like this because of my mama. You got like that because of your mama, but you can change that. You can heal, you can grow, you can be the better mother for your kids. As Ebony was walking up the stairs, you got Nate drowning Andre. But when I was watching it, I noticed that Andre had his mouth wide the fuck open. So Ebony finally gets Nate off of Andre. Nate has no recollection of what's going on at all. When Andre got up, he didn't gasp. He didn't go, he didn't catch his breath. He literally just sat up. He got right up in the tub. It was like, he ate that shit. Like, that shit did not faze him. He was not dying, y'all. Ebony's sitting there hugging Andre. Alberta is comforting Nate. Andre got this evil ass look in his eyes and like he's unfazed. He was like, this nigga tried to kill me. I'm still here, nigga. I'm still in the building, nigga. This scene, this scene had me like,
Nate killing the brother child. He drowning him. Why is he looking like that? I'm starting to believe that Nate did the right thing drowning that nigga. Bitch! I mean, I understand he just got drowned, so you'll be mad. But my thing is the fact that when he came up, he wasn't coughing, because he should have been, to be honest, he should have been dead. Oh, his mouth was wide open. He was in that hole goggling it and fucking swallowing it. He didn't spit up not one piece of water. Andre got to go. Andre, you gotta go, nigga. But it's like, Andre, baby, you gotta go. You gotta go. He wasn't even phased though. He not even choking up. Like, my thing is, he not choking up water. Why are you not choking up water? Like you ain't just swallow fucking 5 pounds of the goddamn water. Like, and the way he looking, get this little nigga the fuck up out of here.
The next day, we got Cynthia, aka Monique with the bob, in the sickening body. She comes, she's like, bitch, open up the door. I gotta do my report, come on. So Cynthia comes in and they start having a talk. Ebony trying to explain what's going on. She felt like the white lady was judging her because she's just another black bitch with all these goddamn kids. But I guess that's her projection. She's projecting. But I would just like, if anything, she would just see you as a single mother. Like, that's it. A lot of kids. 3 kids is a lot of kids. Since when? Ebony's like, black woman to black woman, my sister. So Cynthia gives her little life story a little bit. I had a son. I turned my back for 1 second. He got hit by a car. And she said now that when she sees people neglecting, you know, their children or hurt their children, it hurts her, pains her to see that shit, because it's like she had a child, she loved her child, and now her child is gone. And the fact that you're taking your child for granted. Cynthia's still trying to do her little investigation. Alberta comes out with a bat, and Cynthia's like, this bitch got a bat, let me go. And then they catch the lady outside taking, you know, Polaroid pictures and shit. Alberta then goes to church and asks the pastor or priest, I really don't know the difference between that, for help. She says something's wrong with these kids. I feel like there's a demon. Exercise they ass. The priest, the pastor, ogre, sister girl said, bitch, we don't do that here. I don't know nothing about that. It pans to Ebony at a bar kicking with some broke ass niggas. Like, I'm just like, Ebony, get it together.
Stop talking to these broke niggas. Ebony's starting to irritate me for real, because like, you could have these niggas, these dusty niggas you talking to, buy you a drink, buy you a cup of alcohol. You sitting there conversing with these niggas and they haven't bought you nothing. Like, Ebony, like, play the game. If you're gonna go down this road, play the game. It's the fact that you in a pub and you got niggas smiling in your face and you keep keying with niggas and they're not buying you fucking drinks and shit. knowing your stupid ass can't remember shit and you keep drinking. Girl, bitch, I'm starting to believe Trey is you, ho.
As Ebony was leaving the bar, this lady, Bernice, I was calling her Lady in Black. So they end up meeting at McDonald's. I would say there was a lot of product placement in this movie. I'm not mad at it though, because I know like when it comes to product placement, they must got endorsed, they got paid for that. Even though I feel like McDonald's, child, the genocide stuff, and nobody's fucking with McDonald's, and it's like, but some people still fuck with McDonald's, you know what I'm saying?
I'm starting to believe they are sponsored. They didn't pay a dime for this fucking movie, because I have seen Coke, I have seen that fucking that Peter Shore, some type of, you know, that little kid milkshake for your bones. Bitch, they at McDonald's, they got the McCafe. I'm seeing a lot of product placement, and I'm not necessarily mad at it, because they got funded type shit, you know what I'm saying? And it's a black movie, so I'm not mad at it. But I'm like, damn, bitch. Damn, everybody to fund y'all. I would like to see, you know, a black product, but I'm not mad at it though.
Bernice is basically telling her what's going on with her kids. She basically give her a brief story about that house. She said 20 years ago, a family used to live in a house. She was cool with the family, I guess family friends with the family. And she said that there's a demon in that house. The demon's old and it preys on the weak, and it preyed, I guess, on the son. She tries to get the demon relinquish, or she said deliverance the demon out the damn child. Said she couldn't match the energy, but she lost me when she said it, because before she said all of that, she said if you walk with God, or God is on your side, she said something like that, then you can just touch the person and the demon will go running. So it's like, okay, you say all of that, but you couldn't match the demon energy. What do you mean match the, I thought you walk with God, Sway, Bernice. Do you walk with God or you don't walk with God, Bernice? Like, what, do you have some type of trials and tribulations yourself that you couldn't exercise or deliverance this demon out this child? Because I'm just like, what, girl? She said she lost the boy. I thought she meant like lost as in like the demon took over, but I guess lost as the boy died. And then the mama got crazy and chopped the husband head off. And then she choked her daughter to death. The end of Bernie's speech in this discernment that she says, Ebony goes, ain't no way, I don't believe you, this can't be true. Ebony, you just told Cynthia that there's something going on in the house. And then now when the bitch is like, is confirming, she's like, yeah girl, you got a demon in your shit. She like, ain't no way, there's no way. That irritated me. But Ebony tried to leave. Bernice was like, no bitch, here's my car, you gonna need me, hoe. As Bernice and Ebony was talking whatever, back at home we got Alberta. She grabs her Bible and the house lights go off, and then she ends up getting, I think, pushed to the ground. Andre is choking her. Before any of this happened, Roberta received a call from a man. He said her name, which I believe that was Death calling her, which I feel like that symbolizes the grandmama, her trauma, the grandmama shit, everything that she has done to Ebony. Because y'all noticed that the grandmama never apologized. Even though the grandmama was kind of like, she was cool, calm, and collective, y'all still see that she didn't really take accountability and ownership to her doings to Ebony, which I feel like could have helped Ebony heal if you would just own up to your fuck shit and just speak that truth.
I'm not allowing no young ass little ass child to kill me. Like, you got me fucked up. Like, imagine getting choked to death by a small ass child. Like, I can't. I need to be serious. But
so Ebony comes home and it's like a fire in the house. It's smoke everywhere and the cross is on fire, which I also feel like that's symbolic, because who put the cross on there? Alberta. So Ebony's crying and she's like, Andre. I thought at this point Ebony was going to beat Andre ass, because we all know Andre did that shit. But that was, like I said, I feel like the deeper meaning, that was literally Alberta demons coming back to take that ass. You know what I'm saying? Bitch, they circled the block on her ass. So Andre comes downstairs and you can see like his eyes are sucking in. He looked real zombie-ish. He looks over Alberta's body and then he just like turned his head fast, like, and that whole dead. So the ambulance come and get Alberta, whatever, and you got the kids crying and Andre has these fake ass tears and you can just tell he's not sincere. Like the little boy that played Andre did a fucking good job. This little boy did a good job because I was just like, come here, Andre, come here. I'm not gonna do nothing to you. Let's go down to the lake. Let me stop. So Ebony took her kids. I don't know where she's going. I feel like it was a motel, whatever. We got Andre's like, you know, where we going? Because Andre's trying to stay in that house because that's his domain. And I also feel like him becoming possessed and him becoming like the demon, I also feel like that's also Ebony's demon. Like now she sees her children as demons. And I know what I'm trying to say is like when some people have kids, they believe that their children robbed them of their life. They feel like if they wouldn't have had kids, they would have been better. They would have been higher places, higher learning. They would have been better. And then they look at their children as a burden. And also Andre is also acting out all of this stuff that he's feeling from Ebony, his mother, is coming at him. He's getting abused by his mama and you can't say he doesn't because she popped him in his mouth and his shit was leaking. I think Shantae brought up the father, I forgot, but Andre just start banging his head against the wall, not the wall but the seat. Ebony's overstimulated. She pissed off. She's telling Andre to stop. As Andre was acting crazy, he was like, it's all your fault, your mother's dead, implying that she probably manifested her mama dying type shit, you know what I'm saying? That was like Ebony's kind of truth. Like she kind of did what her mama did. Andre's eyes turned black. Ebony is scared. She stops the car. She starts running out and she runs into like a bar or restaurant or whatever. She's like, they're trying to hurt my baby. They're trying to hurt my kids. Help me, help me, help me. Andre setting her ass up. Ebony looks crazy as fuck. Like she's losing her mind. They come outside to help her and they open the door while her kids are asleep. Andre's like, where are we? But it's like all her kids are asleep. So it's like, Ebony, are you just projecting? Like I feel like that moment symbolizes Ebony conscious, her guilty conscience. Like I said, Andre possessed is like her demons manifesting into her children, like how she sees her child, how she sees her kids is like a burden to her. Then it also is seeping out like the basement shit. Like everything deals with the hole that's in the basement, which the hole that's in her heart, the hole that's in her soul. Everything deals with that, her past trauma. So when he was like, it's your fault your mama's dead, that's probably her conscience, her guilty conscience saying that. So she get put into evaluation. I think she's at CPS headquarters. I don't really know. And they're asking her all these questions and, you know, do you do drugs? She's like, never, never that, never. Do we count? Girl, why the fuck did you say that shit, bitch? Cynthia comes to talk to Ebony in the waiting room and she's like, it's not forever, you know, it's the best things for them. They take the kids. Ebony sad, she crying and shit, she hurt, whatever. Ebony goes and talks to Bernice. They start talking about God, Jesus, religion. There's so many layers upon layers that how you can see this conversation, because she kept on switching back and forth with Jesus and God. Bernice was saying that, oh, the demon is like the devil himself. He wants your baby, he wants you. And so she was explaining out how the devil got casted out of heaven when God casted the devil, which the devil represents the ego. The devil is your lower self, your ego. God is your higher self. And she was like how the demon, the devil, wants everybody in the house dead. Bernice tells Ebony he listens in here, which is her heart, and if it's not spoken in faith, it's just words. And Ebony explains what happened to her. Her mama had a boyfriend, or she allowed a random nigga in her house, and in the basement the dude raped her, and she had like a Jesus chain on, and she was praying to God or to Jesus for him to stop, and he never responded. So that's why she stopped. She lost faith and she stopped believing. So after Ebony explains that, you know, why she doesn't have faith no more, because she got raped and she called upon God and nothing happened. Bernice says, she said, it's not transactional. We're not just doing this to keep your son away from a demon. You got to know that you're loved. So that first part had me like, and you say yeah, this is not transactional. We're not just trying to keep a demon away from. It's just, I just feel like that shit, it shouldn't never went there. I just feel like they should have put that somewhere else. I feel like they should have said something spiritual, something like better than that, because I feel like they just glossed over everything Ebony fucking said. And I understand what she means. This is not transactional, meaning that what we're doing is not just keeping the demon from your child. We're trying to release all your demons. We're trying to basically cleanse everything. Grape is a touchy subject to talk about. And then also when you put religion, even spirituality in it, it's so complex. But when she said you gotta know that you are loved, that is what she was trying to tell Ebony, that because you didn't feel like you were loved is why the demons got you. And I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that, because I don't want to get too much, I don't want to touch it like that. Like, this part was terrible. She couldn't say spiritual stuff because, you know, they don't like to mix spiritual and religion, even though there is some spiritual shit in religion and there's deeper codes to break down in the Bible and stuff like that. It's just, I don't know, I feel like they lost the mark right there. But the last part, that know that you are loved, I see what they're trying to say. So they start praying and shouting God loves you, basically like asking for forgiveness. Andre at the hospital and the nurse is giving her 411. She was like, that nigga been like that for the past hour, child. Cynthia talks to Andre. Andre starts telling Cynthia that how her son watches her. And then Andre starts saying like, my mother's dead, God is dead. What did I just say? The highest you, it's God. The lowest you, it's the devil, it's your ego. And then also your demons could come in as in your pride. Your demons could come in as your lust, the 7 deadly sins. Monique starts asking Andre, who are you? And he's like, I'm not Andre, stupid bitch. Unstrap me and I'll let you know. Da da da. Monique was like, Cynthia was like, that's not how it works. Andre hopped out the bed.
Run, Monique. Cynthia, get the fuck out of there. My thing is with the demon shit, I understand like y'all want us to believe that it's a demon, like it's unhuman. The crawling on the walls, I'm kind of sick of that, because it's kind of like, will a demon really do that though? Like, let's keep it a buck. Is the demon really gonna do that though? Like, y'all just, and they be like walking backwards. Like, fix your fucking back, bitch. Like, I know that's uncomfortable. Like, why the fuck do y'all make them do the same little back bends? And I guess it's supposed to be scary and more suspenseful, but let's keep it. But they demons walk among us. Let me stop. Y'all bitches are the demons, but it's like them niggas walk regular. Like, stop.
Cynthia then talks to like a doctor, and she's like, I just saw him jump out the restraint, climb backwards. There's something wrong with him. No, like, there's something wrong with him. And then you have Ebony. She goes to the hospital and she breaks out Andre. And it's funny because she walks right past the nurse. The nurse peeps her, and the nurse don't say a fuck thing. The nurse is minding her fucking business, and that's what I like. And this is the thing that I liked about this movie. Some of the stuff was unrealistic, but some of the stuff I was like, y'all got that on point, because this part, y'all know in movies, especially horror ones, they always want to stop. Hey, what are you doing? You can't go back there. That's Ebony. Ebony can't go. The nurse saw Ebony and she minded her fucking business. She said, that shit ain't got nothing to do with me. That's not my shit. I'm not interfering. That has nothing to do with me. And I was like, yes. And the doctor goes up to the nurse to basically go to Andre's room. The nurse is like, I'm not going back in that room. He in 509, I'm not going back in that room. He's like, excuse me? She's like, I'm not going back in there. So they go in a room and they realize that Andre is missing. Now it's Ebony, Andre, and Bernice. They go to the house to do the deliverance, which I don't understand. I mean, I understand on a deeper level why they went to the house, but if this was just a horror movie, I don't understand. Why would you go back to his domain? Why would you go back to where the demon is the most powerful? And the fact that it was already trauma in that house from 20 years ago, why would you go back there? Like, I just feel like y'all could have did Deliverance in the alleyway. Why did you go back there? Bernice give Ebony the 411, telling her like, you know, the demon might turn into a loved one. Don't believe it. So she starts throwing holy water, whatever. As Andre was getting sizzled by the holy water, he turns into Alberta. Why this bitch Alberta, the demon, talking about, I can smell your nappy headed pussy? What? Just talking shit. So you can see how the demons are changing. First is Andre. Demon changes to Alberta, her mother. So as Bernice started to do Deliverance, stuff started happening to the children. So Shantae's eyes is bleeding. That's what's happening to her. Her eyes is bleeding, her mouth is bleeding. And Nate is just clawing the fuck out of himself and turning to Wolverine, to be honest. Bernice tells Ebony to go upstairs. Don't listen to what you hear. Don't come downstairs. I feel like that was the wrong move. I feel like, bitch, you should have kept her. Child, as soon as Ebony went upstairs, Bernice got her ass whooped by the demon. Got her ass towed up. Ebony comes back downstairs. Bernice says her little goodbyes. I couldn't do it. I had fear. I had self-doubt. Which message? She had self-doubt. She didn't believe in herself that she could cast out the demon. Really was Ebony's demon. So I feel like that's why it didn't work anyways, because bitch, it wasn't meant for you. She was supposed to cast that demon out of her. But I feel like Bernice is probably supposed to represent a spiritual god or a spiritual. She must represent help, basically. Bernice gives Ebony the holy water. She's low-key scared as fuck, I'm not gonna lie. She's scared as fuck, and she starts throwing the holy water onto Andre. Andre ends up attacking her, and then the demon turns into Ebony. That is Ebony's demon. Like, all of these demons is Ebony. It's a part of Ebony. The demon choke slams Ebony, and then Ebony starts banging her head to the concrete. Demon just looked shocked to me. The motherfucker looked like, what the fuck is going on? Ebony was getting beat the fuck up. Beat up. The demon started putting the foot on Ebony's neck. Ebony ends up dying, and her life flashes before her eyes, and she sees her kids. Happy moments that she has with her kids, basically. Things to live for, things to be happy for, things to be grateful for, things to love. And it zooms into her eyes, and then everything goes pitch black. And then it shows her, like, you know, she's in darkness, and you can kind of see a shine on her. And you can hear her mama's voice, like, you can talk to God. Then she gets like reborn, whatever, and she comes alive again. And she starts calling on Jesus, like, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. The demons start pleading. This shit was kind of funny. The demon's like, come on, girl, you know us. Don't do this to me. Don't do this. Don't do me like this. And that's how you know this shit is about Ebony's demon. This is all Ebony's demon. This is all her doing. This is all of her. Everything she's dealing with is the shit that she's kept inside of her. And then she gets down on her knees and she's like, Jesus, starts speaking in tongues, like, I guess the Holy Spirit or Jesus Spirit or what they're trying to say, which I feel like her higher self is possessing her, and she basically is casting out the demon. As she's doing this, Shantae is levitating off the bed type shit, and then Nate runs into a room. The demon gets burnt up, and then it gets sucked back into the hole, basically I guess going back to hell. After the demon gets sucked back into the hole, you see the kids. She got the nails on the cross, and Nate, he got the beatings, the whippings, the slashes, goddamn. But they all have that laid out in a cross position, but then they wounds heal. Jesus resurrected from the dead. So I think that's what they were supposed to symbolize. Basically, you purified your soul. That's what that symbolizes. Ebony finds Andre, they hug it out. The kids still end up getting taken, goddamn. Cynthia comes to talk to Ebony, and Ebony's packing her bag. She's leaving that fucking house, basically. Ebony faces toe up. Cynthia's trying to give her encouragement, like, you know, we can fight this. It's gonna probably take some time for you to get your kids back. And they basically just have a heart-to-heart and they hug it out, basically. A few months later, Ebony, Nate, Shantae, Andre, they was moving back to Philly, and then she tells the kids that she's getting back with, you know, their father. And that's basically the end of the movie. It wasn't a bad movie. I just wish it wasn't centered around her being a single mother, but I guess everything is spiritual, everything is deep. It was a deeper meaning. The acting was good, but I just felt like I just wanted it to be another Us or Get Out. I just don't like when they do horror films about single mothers, because it is complex, like, and especially how they glossed over Ebony's trauma and how she was like, how she kind of like, it's just like how they did it. And I just feel like y'all didn't do it right. And I just feel like a lot of times with movies, even everything is spiritual, but I just feel like there's spiritual stuff in the Bible and you have to just decode it, basically. So it's like that scene where she just glossed over what happened to her, but then they put in, you got to know that you are loved in that part, and that was significant. But that's gonna go over, that's gonna go through niggas' ears and out. Like, it's not going to, they're not going, a lot of people are not gonna understand that. And I just feel like it should have been a more powerful message, and I feel like it had to be spiritual, but you know, they wanted to keep it Bible coded, and I just feel like you have to decode the Bible anyways. I'm not saying this is a bad film, I just hate when they censor it around single mothers, like single mothers. Even though I get what they're trying to say, deal with your trauma, heal from it, deal with your demons, you know what I'm saying, for the sake of you and your children. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this movie. Let me know y'all thoughts in the comments section below. That's all I have, you all, and peace.